My name is Sarah, and my twin sister and I were born into an upper-class scholarly family. We each had a mole on our left cheek when we were born, and our parents raised us in a house filled with knowledge. And if you want to hear more stories about me and my twin sister, please click like and subscribe for me. Thank you! Marla and I are twin sisters. Although we have the same appearance, our ideals are infinitely different. I was a timid, shy girl who only liked to bury myself in my father's library, while Marla has been very active and cheerful since childhood. Due to our parents' influence, the first day we entered high school was a disaster. We came with two sets of clothes that were almost the same. We were like two clowns standing among the crowd. Our costumes were prepared by our parents and were very nerdy. As soon as they saw us for the first time, the people around us laughed and teased us a lot. Marla was so embarrassed that she immediately jumped into a nearby bush to hide, while I stood rooted to the spot and suffered my friends' contempt.
What is this? Do you have a pair of librarian twins here?
They're like the twins from the 18th century. Why does a luxurious school like this have these two rustic things?
My sister was very upset as this happened. That night, Marla staged a protest against our parents, demanding that they allow her to change her clothes and style. My parents were tough, but then Marla took up a speaker, turned on loud rock music, and went around the house causing a commotion. My parents couldn't take it any longer and had to give up. They brought Marla a bunch of new outfits right away, and I just stood there calmly watching. Thanks to those new clothes, my sister seemed to have transformed into a different person. She looked so beautiful and gorgeous. After that, my sister quickly became popular at school because she had become very beautiful. Even Madeline, the mean girl who used to mock us, became close to Marla, contrary to her. And I just spent most of my time in the school library day after day and barely made any friends. We have been on two completely different extremes. My sister is always at the top in beauty and popularity, while I only know how to study, so I'm always at the top in academic achievement. Therefore, we talk less and less to each other. We grew from 14 to 18 over time. Marla and Madeline are now the two most attractive and hottest girls in school, with many male students swooning over them. But I haven't altered much. At the end of that year, my school organized a very grand prom for the students. I also attended but just stood in a corner to watch everyone. While I was intently watching the excitement, I felt someone tap my shoulder. I turned around and saw a red envelope pinned to my backpack. I took the envelope and opened it. There was a letter inside. It was a love letter. Dear Sarah, maybe you don't realize it, but I hope that starting tomorrow, you will feel proud every time you look in the mirror. I've been silently observing you the entire time, and you're extremely stunning and lovely. You are the queen, the cheerleader, the sparkling rainbow, and the brightest sun I have ever seen in my eyes. If you want, I believe you can be at the top of your class in both beauty and brains. Every day, I will continue to follow and love you, sending you thousands of kisses. Sign, your mysterious lover. When I saw the letter, I was taken aback. Could someone else write to me? I immediately think about my soul friend Ron. He was the only one who talked and spent the most time with me because we were in the same math club. I dashed out to the door to see Ron, but he demonstrated that the letter was not written by him.
Sarah, look. This is my notebook, and it's completely different from the letter you received.
But then Ron promised to find out with me who wrote that love letter. I took him back to his room, and Ron immediately became like a detective when he made a research table about all the men that I had met recently. After telling Ron about all the guys I had ever met, Ron sifted through and identified 4 possible suspects who could have written that letter. Those four boys are in the four most famous clubs at the school. Ron asked me to join all of those clubs to facilitate the investigation. Although I was very shy, I finally compromised and participated in clubs: debate, cheerleading, charity, and musicals. I eventually joined all of the clubs. I did so well in debate club and the musical that I beat the other two guys, and they despised me so much that Ron fired them right away. Ron had run out of patience at the charity club, so he approached the guy immediately and showed him the letter to question him, leading him to run away in fright. But everything changed until I met Gavin, the cheerleading team captain. He always wears basketball clothes with dark skin, and when he first met me, he gave me a very bright smile to welcome me.
Welcome to the cheerleading club. I'm Gavin. You have no idea how famous you've become recently. At this rate, nothing is impossible for you. Sparkling rainbow?
It took me a few seconds to calm down. Gavin had just said sparkling rainbow. Except for the person who wrote the letter, no one had ever called me that. Without waiting for Ron to conclude, I already understood that this was the person who wrote the letter. Gavin sat next to me, telling me how influential my exploits at those clubs had been. I didn't know that I was now more famous than my sister Marla and her friend Madeline.
Sarah, you're really amazing, you know?
Thank you, Gavin. You're so sweet. After that, we spent a lot of time together. I assisted Gavin with numerous subjects, and in return, he proudly presented me to all of his friends. Because of that sweetness, I instantly fell in love with Gavin. Madeline, on the other hand, was furious that she was no longer as prominent as she once was. She ran around school spreading lies about me, and no one believed her. At this time, I didn't know about it, but because of jealousy, Madeline created a fake anonymous love letter and secretly put it in my locker. After Gavin and I returned from lunch the next day, I stopped by the locker to pick up books for the afternoon. When I opened the closet door, I was surprised to see the red envelope again, this time in my locker next to the books. Gavin was as astonished as I was. I was taken aback when Madeline suddenly emerged, took the letter, and read it out in front of everyone.
Dear Sarah, it's not what I expected. Now that you've become a shining star, you are worthy of my true love. All this time, you must have mistaken me for an idiot, Gavin. If you want to see me, I will wait for you behind the school this afternoon. Signed, your true love.
What is this, Sarah? And who was that guy to dare call me an idiot?
Shocked and extremely scared, I explained everything to Gavin about my mistake. Gavin was very sad, but in the end, he accepted my surprising goodbye. Despite my sadness, I had to find out who my mysterious lover was. I walked behind the school that afternoon, but instead of a male, there was Madeline and a number of her pals.
This is the price you will pay if you attempt to take my glory. You're nothing more than a nerd. You should understand how to accept your fate.
Before I could react, Madeline and her team continuously picked up dirt from below and threw it at me, making me dirty. Suffering two serious shocks at the same time, I broke down and ran home, burying my face in my pillow and crying till I passed out from weariness. When I awoke in the middle of the night, I saw that the light in my sister's room was still on. I peered in, shocked, to discover Marla sitting at the table, penning a pink letter in a red envelope. I was taken aback and fell to the floor. Marla heard it and ran out and helped me, explaining everything. "Sarah, I'm sorry if this letter caused you problems with Madeline. I wouldn't have hung out with her longer, but I just want you to understand that because we are the same, you can do anything and even better than me if you have confidence. Sarah, you're always a sparkling rainbow in my eyes. When I heard Marla's words, I was so moved. I sobbed as I hugged her. Since then, I gained confidence, and Gavin and I remained excellent friends when everything was resolved. Marla and Ron were both overjoyed for me. I finally recognized how my incredible sister made me become like her. She helped me realize how great I am, and I love her so much.